Howdy familia, Miranda here, and today I am going to be sharing with you my entire Western movie collection in honor of Western Month over on Mid-Level Media's channel. So if you guys are not familiar with Ken, which I'm sure most of you are, but if you are not, Ken over at Mid-Level Media, he came up with this idea to make January Western Month over on his channel, and he did a little video inviting, like all YouTubers and Instagrammers to, participate and just post something Western, whether it's, your collection or a review of some sort of a Western movie or just anything like Western related. So I thought I would go ahead and partake in that and share with you guys my collection here. Now, I definitely, have to agree with Ken that Westerns is definitely a blind spot for me as well. I feel like Westerns really don't get enough love, and sometimes they can be a little bit hard to get into, but they are definitely underappreciated, and it's definitely a genre of movies that I actually own quite a few of, but I haven't really had the chance to watch many of them, even though I'm like always adding to the Western collection just so I can have them, but it's about time that I start watching them more. But anywho, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys everything. I went through my whole collection, Blu-rays, DVDs, and everything, and just pulled all the things that I knew were Westerns, and then several I actually had to Google because I wasn't really sure. So a lot of these, if you Google them, even though they may seem questionable, they should come up as a Western. And when people think of Westerns, they kind of think of the whole standoffs and bandits and train robberies and cowboys on horses and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's not necessarily all about that, you guys. There's just so much to Western films that can totally be a different concept. You have Western comedies, you have Western dramas, you have Western sci-fis, and there's even horror Westerns and whatnot. So yeah, this is definitely a video I'm actually looking forward to. Just because it's been nice to see, what everybody has in their collections, what I need to add to my collection, that's for sure. So yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoy this, and let me know which ones you've seen, which ones you like, and what you have in your collection. What am I missing from my collection? Let me know in the comments below. And I will leave Mid-Level Media's channel linked in the description box below. If you're not familiar with him, like I said, he puts out some great content, and he's just a really cool dude. And so he does lots of movie hunting videos, as well as things like movie reviews, and shares parts of his collection and just so much more, you guys. Really awesome channel. So definitely go give him some love and likes and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my collection. Alright, so we are starting off with The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. This is one I actually picked up at Dollar Tree a couple years ago. I still have not gotten around to watching it, but I have heard nothing but great things about it, and who doesn't love them? Some Clint Eastwood. Next up, we have the remake of True Grit and Hondo. I've heard good things about both of the True Grit movies, the original and the remake, so definitely one I'm looking forward to watching. And I've actually never seen any John Wayne films, not that I know of. So Hondo should be an interesting watch for me. This next one, I absolutely love the cast in this, but I have not watched it, and that is Young Guns. You have just a ridiculously insane, stellar cast, you guys. So I cannot wait to watch that one. Next up, we have this one right here. You also have a pretty good cast, and that is Hickok. And then we have Hell or High Water. The Hateful Eight, which I haven't seen this one in a very long time. I remember really enjoying this one. Thought it was a really great film, so I need to revisit that one soon. Next we have The True History of the Kelly Gang. This one, you guys, I will say, I sort of watched it, but the day I chose to watch it, it just so happened that I kept getting interrupted, kept getting all these phone calls and whatnot, so it took me a while to, well, I didn't even finish the movie, you guys, to be honest. It just, with how many interruptions I got that day, it made me lose interest in the movie, so I need to go back and revisit this. But from what I did watch, and it was a pretty decent movie, you guys, but I need to revisit this soon and watch it fully through without any interruptions. Next up, we have All the Pretty Horses. This one, I honestly don't really know too much about. I've always heard of this one. And obviously, you have Matt Damon and Penelope Cruz is in here as well. And I'm guessing it's going to be more about horses, but it's supposedly a Western, so... Next up, this was actually one I got at Dollar Tree, I want to say maybe last year. And I actually really enjoyed this. And it's called Frontera. And basically this guy, he's coming in from Mexico, and he there's these like kids that do something, and they blame him for it. And so this guy, he's not like a sheriff, but he's like the owner of the property where the event occurred and whatnot. And so he, you know, like wrongfully accuses him and whatnot. And so, yeah, I honestly really did enjoy it. It definitely takes kind of place out more like, you know, desert area. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one. This one was pretty good for coming from Dollar Tree. Yeah. Next up, we have Tombstone. So I watched this for the first time last year, and I gotta say, wow, what a film, you guys. I absolutely love this one, every second of it. This is just a phenomenal film, you guys. A top Western for sure. Next, we have Stagecoach, the Texas Jack story. And then this one here, everybody loves this one. We got Django Unchained. Been a hot minute since I've seen this one, but I loved this one. Next, we got The Quick and the Dead, which this one I have not seen yet, but I've heard nothing but great things about. And same with this one, 3:10 to Yuma. And then we have No Country for Old Men. This one, though, honestly, like... I liked it, but I didn't get the like over crazed hype about it. And I also didn't, okay, so like the Western vibes are sort of there, but I didn't really feel like this was much of like a full-blown like Western. Me personally, I wouldn't really like consider it to be a Western. But you know, nonetheless, it was a decent movie. So next we have Dances with Wolves. This one I honestly really don't remember too much about. I know I've at least seen it probably once or so, but long time ago. And then we do have a like Western comedy here, and that would be Shanghai Noon. You know, Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson, gotta love him. It's fun, it's funny. So Shanghai Noon. This one is more of a Western sci-fi, and that is Cowboys and Aliens. I have not watched this one yet. I've definitely been curious about it, though. I keep wanting to try and watch this one with hubby, but he never really shows any interest in it, so I guess I'm just going to have to watch it by myself. Next up, actually, this whole trilogy is considered like an action Western, which I totally see that. And so we have the Robert Rodriguez trilogy here. We got El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. All fantastic films, but if I had to choose from the three, I'd definitely say my favorite is Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Next we have The Revenant. Yes, it's actually considered a Western. But I totally see that. Definitely see that, because obviously you do have like the Native Americans and stuff here. You know, they're on horses and all of that. And, you know, the vibes are there. They're definitely there. And then this one, I honestly wasn't aware that this was actually like some sort of a Western, but I guess it is. And that is Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat. I have not gotten around to this one, but it's one that I've been looking forward to watching. Next up, we have Blazing Saddles. This is one too. I've had this sitting on the shelf for a while. I haven't gotten around to it, but I've heard nothing but great things about this one. And I believe this is more of like a Western comedy. So that definitely looks like a fun watch. Now, this next title, you guys, many people probably wouldn't think to pull this one. And I was actually, you know, as I was going through my collection, I saw this and I was like, you know what? That is totally you know, has the Western aspect to it and whatnot. And I hadn't seen anybody, you know, mention this movie like in their videos or posts or anything like that. But then the following day, I watched Tim Talks Talkies video that he did, and he showed this movie too. And I was like, that's awesome that he thought of this one too. And that is Holes, you guys. You definitely have the whole like Western vibes in here, simply with the way that like the warden and Mr. Sure, the way they dress, and then you have the whole Kate Barlow story that ties in and everything. And then obviously they're like in the desert, and you know, like lots of westerns, just lots of desert area and whatnot. And so I definitely would consider Holes to be in part a western. So I love that movie, you guys. All right, the next film is Hidalgo, which this one I kind of find odd because like I guess it's some sort of a western, and it's actually based on a true story, but it actually takes place like in the Arabian desert, so that kind of threw me off a bit. But it's a western, so you know, I still haven't watched it. Need to. We'll see. Next we have The Mask of Zorro. It's been so long since I've seen any of the Zorro movies, so I honestly don't even really remember them being much of a western, but definitely will be a good one to revisit so I can see, you know, that aspect of the film. Next up, we have Posse. This is one that I've heard great things about, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Just recently got it from Dollar Tree, so I'm excited to check out Posse. Next up, this is actually another title too that I got from Dollar Tree. I heard it's not really that great, but you know, I wanted it for the Western collection, and that is The Dalton Gang, From U.S. Marshals to Killer Outlaws. And then we have some female cowgirls here in Bandidas. Can't go wrong with some Salma Hayek, Penelope Cruz. Then we have The Lone Ranger. This one is actually pretty fun, you guys. I really do enjoy this one. It's a good time. You have the whole Western mix in it, but it's also comedy, so really enjoyed that one. This one is one that I've heard good things about, and this too is more of a Western comedy, and that is Three Amigos. And then I'm surprised though, like everybody has been, you know, doing their videos and their posts on Instagram, but I haven't seen anybody post this one. And this was like a classic when I was younger. I saw this one in theaters. I watched it like every time it was on TV, and this was like honestly one of my favorites, like Will Smith films back in the day, and it's just loads of fun, and I remember it being really funny. I haven't seen it in so long though, and that is Wild Wild West. So yeah, I actually want to revisit this one here soon because I do really enjoy that one. And so we're down to the last few here, and these are actually all going to be animated films. Yes, most people wouldn't really, you know, think to pull like an animated film for like a Western, but there are a few out there, you guys. So first one up, Rango. This one definitely, you know, he's this, what is he? He's like a gecko, iguana, not an iguana. What the heck is he? He's a gecko, right? Oh, chameleon. He's a chameleon. And he's trying to be like this actor or whatever. Comes across this little itty bitty, you know, town in the middle of the desert and everything. And he's pretending to be this like sheriff and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's just a really fun movie. I know some people didn't really care for this. They didn't really like the comedy, thought it was too dry, but I really enjoyed this one. Me and hubby saw this one in theaters, and like me and him and the entire like theater was like laughing our asses off. And I just think it's a really funny, really fun film, and it definitely screams Western, so had to include that one. Next up, we have Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. This one, I love this movie. I love that this is just like a narrated movie, and you know, the whole horses and everything, like horses are definitely a huge part of like a Western film, in my opinion. And just the whole story of this, you have the Native Americans there, but you also have, you know, the cowboys, generals, whatever. And it just kind of shows that part. It ties into the whole sort of like how the West was won kind of thing, you know, and them taking over, you know, the Native American land and whatnot. But anywho, Spirit, love this one, you guys. Definitely a Western. Then we got Home on the Range. This one is pretty fun. Yeah. obviously you have this like yodeling cowboy, like what the heck. And you're definitely in this like desert area and whatnot. This is a fun one, you guys. I really enjoy this one. And last but not least, we have An American Tail, Fievel Goes West. This one was actually, I want to say, my favorite of the Fievel movies growing up as a kid. So definitely one I want to revisit. Okay, so I almost forgot. I also have Unforgiven. We just actually watched this, and I gotta say, wow, this is a fantastic film, you guys. Like, it starts off a little crazy, like right off the bat, and just the way the whole story like progresses and everything is perfect. The dialogue is great, and Clint Eastwood's character in this is just awesome. He's totally like, you can see his badass side like more towards the end. And then Gene Hackman as a sheriff, he's just a total dick in this movie, you guys. But really, really great movie here. So we got Unforgiven. So that is it for my collection, you guys. Again, shout outs to Mid-Level Media for, you know, hosting this Western month. And it's just been really great seeing everyone who's participating through YouTube, through Instagram. So make sure you go check out his content, you guys, and feel free to join in on Western month. Thank you so much for watching. Join the family if you have not, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.